All right, so I haven't been posting much videos lately, but we're gonna go into this right away. So first of all, I would suggest heading over to alexsoptions.com, and if you would like to join my Discord, which is 100% free, you're gonna go to join my community, click that, and then you can scroll down, read what we're all about, see some results potentially, and then click join now, which will bring you into the Discord. As for how you get into the Discord, since everyone has some issues with this, you're gonna see important info, new users verify here. You go and you click this H, and then you can go over to role assignment, choose what type of trader you are. This is used for alert purposes. So now that you know that, we can get right onto the video. So this is going to be talking about the long-term watch list that we put out May 31st. So before this month even started. And you're going to notice in the title, plug pins AMD. Those were some pretty nice ones, weren't they? So we will be looking at this Discord. You're going to see we have it pulled up in the video, and then I go in and I talk about all the setups, the options we're looking at, etc. And we're going to get into that right now. So you're going to see right here, going to go into investing charts, and if you scroll up, you're going to get all of this type of stuff, and then you can see this was the watch lists going into June. So I'm going to be reading off of that. And if you would like to see the video that I posted last month, you can go into the top right corner over here and click onto that, and then you can come right back to this video. It will be linked in the top of that description. So now that we can get into this, we're going to start at the top. So a lot of these, some of them did not trigger, and then the ones that did trigger did insanely well. So you're going to see GNW looking at the January 2021 or January 2022 calls, which you're going to notice no trigger. So we are going to be skipping over that. And then we can go to true, which is going to be the same kind of deal. You're going to notice this is our entry price, was never hit. And also some of the entry prices and things I had in my chart previously in that first video are going to be removed solely because I'm a day trader and it clutters the chart to have tons of things on there like this. So now we can get to FSR. So you're going to see the type of setup we had. This was your entry right here for the 2-2 reversal, and you can see this hammer, so it's actionable. This was the target talked about in the video, and you're going to see listed in the Discord. If you go and head in there, it's going to be FSR July 16, 2021, tight spread, pricing to move to 16.65. That's the $15 call. So, and then you're going to see monthly reversal over 13.85, huge pivot machine gun on the weekly. So we're going to go and look at that, and you're going to see tons of stuff to take out on the weekly, and we went and hit our target in 2 weeks. And for those that are wondering what the target is, this was your target, and that is going to be your 24% move on the stock, and then to the highs, that's 50%. So you can kind of see what we're all about here. So now we can go and look at the option. So it's going to be the FSR July 16 $15 calls, which I can't even pull up here. So it's going to be this. So now we can go to the monthly aggregation. You're going to see what they opened at and what they traded to. So the opening price was $1.08, and they traded up to $5.51. What is that return going to be? That's going to be just about 500%. I don't know if I can, let's see. We can go like this potentially. Or, where is it? I can't get the, hopefully you understand what I mean. Whatever. So $1.32 to around 500, depending on when you took profit. I believe if you go onto the weekly, you're going to see this was the entry, $1.32, and it hit a high of 5.1 within the first 2 weeks. And at target, I believe, is around $400-ish. So still, that's going to be $300 return on a $132 investment. Can't go wrong with that. Now we're going to get on to AAL, which I know is one that actually did not work out too well. We're going to go to the monthly, and you're going to see this. So what is this called? This is called a 2-go-3. So we know that when price action takes out one side of the range and falls back in, it's likely to go and take out the other side. And you're going to see right when this went red, that's when you should be cutting your position. And if you were to look at the daily chart, you're going to see this. So triggered, had some good moves, and then fell right back in. So depending on how you do your risk management, you're going to see the trigger level is right here. And normally I will take the low of the candle that triggers it. So this is your daily candle low. So we're just risking to 24.51, and that would have stopped you out for a small loss. And if I were to head to the calls that I was talking about, I believe just between there and there, it was around 3 or 4%. So it's nothing too crazy. And now we can get to JMIA. So we're looking at JMIA July, August 21. July/August 2021 calls. And the trigger price, if we go up to the monthly, you're going to see this was one that also did not work out too well. So this is the trigger price over 32.2. And if we go to the daily chart, you're going to see this. So this would have been my preferred stop. You could have also taken it down to here if you want to risk $3. But this did not go right away, and we had some issues. So this would have stopped us out, potentially retriggered, and got us in a couple more times if that was something you really wanted to get into. But this is going to be a loser, and you could call it what you want. Let's just say 30% loss or something. Now we can go to space, and you can see space, July 16, $45 to $55 calls. And there's your entry. Let me clear this out. So this was our entry on the monthly. And you can see July 16, 45 to 55 calls. So we can type in space here and head to the 45 to 55 calls. So now we go to the monthly, and you're going to see this. On the monthly chart, that was the trigger. And let's see, once that quarter goes green, we have magnitude to take out all-time highs. It would be a 3-2 continuation off that monthly for a range expansion, which we all know can be insanely fast. So insanely fast means very aggressive, and I would call that very aggressive in my opinion. And this was actually one that we took off the investment list, and we used it as a day trade and swing trade for a week. So you're going to notice we had a tightening, coiling, whatever you would like to call it. And then you get this hammer day entry into this, and we all took that with the 49 calls. Or 39 calls expiring, I believe it was last week, Friday. And you're going to notice that went up to $57. And the entry was 3.5. If we go to daily, potentially going to have the same type of issue, yeah. So this would have been one that you have to get on the lower time frame. You're going to notice that daily or weekly entry, which is going to be something harder to do. And if you are trading stock, that would be something that's a lot easier because you can just hold through this and not worry about theta. But as for these calls that were suggested, you're going to notice right on 622 was that entry trigger, which we did actually post. I have it on my website if you go to the trade review section about how we traded this. But the entry was $1.64 on the suggested options, and you're going to notice those went up to $14.7 at the high. And you can see if we go look at our daily targets, these would have been the last 3 targets we actually had. So we came right off the 56.9. Not going to say that you sold the top, but if you sold anywhere within here, it's about 1,000% return. So give or take. And now we got plug. So you're going to see this. We go to the monthly here and plug. This one did not go as hard as we would have liked though. So these are all setting up going into next quarter, which a lot of these are going to be on the list. But you're going to notice here's your daily chart, and you're going to notice this is our trigger level. Was not getting respected, and this would have been the first one, and this would have been where you got break even, stop out, or just stopped out in general, depending where you put your stop. If you put it down here, would have got stopped out down here. But you can notice when they don't go right away, we know not to get in them, because every single one we've looked at thus far, if it doesn't go right away, it does this, right? So just a good example of that occurring. Now we can go to NEO. You're going to see NEO on the month. So here is your rev strap monther on NEO. This was our magnitude to take out, and you can see here's your broadening information, the lower lows, and here's your higher highs if you'd want to draw it like that, or you can just go like this so it looks a little prettier. And our entry 41.45, and you're going to notice this one went pretty much instantly. So depending on how you took it, depending on your risk management, you could have gotten stopped out multiple times. But here's your trigger. If you threw it at the low of the candle, you were good. And we did go and hit that target. And we're looking at the July 16 45 calls on NEO. And if we go check those out, you're going to notice here. So did have some theta problems going into this. And if we go back to, when was this trigger? 6-1. So it triggered long, we'll just say 155, depending on where you got it within this day of trigger is going to tell you what price you had. But that was the long trigger, and you're going to see currently trading at 8.7. So around 150 bucks to around 800 now. If you took the magnitude, the target, that's 155 to 639. And that's going to be a very, very solid gain. So we can move on to the next one. It said this call, yeah, here you go. So this call can go, this call, what magnitude would make this call go over 500%. And for those that don't understand magnitude, it's going to be the RevStrat month magnitude on this, which is 5042. And what do you know? Just around 300. If it occurred a little sooner, probably would have been around 500. But it is what it is. We're still holding out for that stuff. And if you were holding it to the current price, it's going to be definitely around almost 5 times. But anyways, now we can head over to pins. So pins, you're going to notice all these setups look very similar. This is very, very repetitive because it's very simple and it's just how price action occurs. So here is your hammer counter shooter 222 reversal right here. This is our magnitude, so we're going to have to give that some time. But looking at the June 18, or my bad, looking at the July 1675 calls. So we go to pins, and you go to July 16, and we go to the 75s. So what do we notice about this? So your monthly entry is going to occur right away, and you can see it pretty much goes instantly. So here's your trigger, here is your stop, and here is your inside day and up if you wanted to get a lower time frame trigger. So you got all of the good stuff in here, and that's going to be occurring on 6/9, 6/10, so about a third into the month. And if we go to 6/9, 6/10, you're going to notice trading around $1, just around there. You could put a little range. This is where you would have gotten your average price, and this is the price it is currently trading at. So just around 5 times the first starting position size at the current price it is trading at, and it still has not hit our target of 88.83. So this is something I would suggest rolling out to anyone who is in it, or if you're in shares, then you don't even have to worry about it. But that is going to be pins, and you can see that about 5 times the size of the position. Now we can get to the semiconductors. So we got AMD, and you're going to see this. So AMD, TSM, just grab any strike that's under magnitude for the month, call it good. AMD is my favorite, likes to go straight up. So here is your entry, 119.42 on TSM. Here's your entry, $82 on AMD, magnitude 89.2, and then the quarterly, which is our long-term magnitude or target, is 99.23. So I was looking at the 90 call for June 16th, and I actually did make a Twitter post about this just today. So you can go to June 16th, you can go to those 90 calls, and you are going to see the power of this strat here. So the monthly reversal is going to be a little bit later. Let me go to AMD and get the exact date to compare for you guys. Now we go to the daily, and you're going to notice this. So you get super bad consolidation, and this is where you wait for those smaller time frame setups if it does not go right away, and you're going to notice that we get this. So you get this hammer day right off the bottom of the smaller time frame broadening formation, and you're going to see this. So slightly our highs, slightly lower lows. Now here's your hammer day to the upside to trigger the day, week, and month right there. And that is going to be an entry right there. And if we were to go to the weekly, if you wanted to use that as your entry, it would have been something like 82.65 just about. Depends again on how you get your entry. But we'll go to the daily and just take that hammer entry as the option price. So 616. And now we go to the daily on the call, and you're going to see on 616 it was trading 50 cents. And you're going to notice today it closed at a price of 5.12. So nearly 10 times your money within less than 2 weeks. So just the power of things working out and risk management for sure. And you're going to notice if you did take the reversal, and I'm showing you the reversal on the option just because it's very simple to see how this works. If you did take this, price never came back to your entry on the option. You did not have any drawdown minus potentially 3 cents. So you can see when things go, they go. So that's exactly what we're going to be looking for always. Now let's go on to the next one. So we can go CRM. I said not sure on options yet, waiting for a quarterly trigger or weekly reversal back up. And if we go and look at CRM on the weekly, first of all, you're going to look on the daily, and you're going to see chop chop. sideways, and you're going to see it's starting the new broadening formation. But go to the weekly, and you're going to see here's your weekly to the downside, and here's your inside week. So we have not had a trigger yet. And that's the reason I say that we want to wait for that, is because you can see we had this gap way down here that needed to be filled. If you took this weekly hammer, that could have been a valid entry, and that's still good because it has not hit your entry price yet. But this is actually something we just did not get in the Discord solely because of this choppiness action going on. And now we have what? AMGN, a put lotto, which if I were to go to the monthly, you're going to see it's slightly triggered. It came back in. That's going to be something you get stopped out of. And then we can look to the last one on the chart, which was GRWG. And that one actually just started going recently. So if I clear the drawing set, first of all, you're going to see it gapped above our entry. So it's already negated until we fill that gap and then get an entry back to the upside. So you're going to see, my bad. Let's go to the week. So you can see entry price. This is something that stops you out, and then you have to find a different entry on a smaller time frame in order to get into that. And this was also another one that we actually did not even focus on within the Discord, solely because of this action that was occurring here. Because you'll notice all of the other setups were going instantly, so why waste your time with stuff that is not going to be going instantly? And then there was some that we actually added to the list. So we have Eno, and that was added on 602. I can show you that here. So INO 602, $9 call over 805. Now we can go look at the monthly chart right here, and you're going to see right here. So here's your monthly trigger over 805, and if you go to the daily, this is what happened. So here's your first entry. That's your trigger candle. Here's the low of it. That would be a stop, and you're going to notice the stop did not get hit. Here's your smaller time frame entry where you can take the inside day and up to trigger the larger time frame entry. And we went 8.2 to $10.33. And I might be able to find this, but I actually closed out of my position after this day because if you look at this percent gain on the stock, it moved 27% in 3 days. Not something I want to be holding on to for a very long time. But if I were to go to the call that's suggested, it was the July 16 $9 call or August 20th $10 call. Let's do the July 16. We'll go to Eno. You're going to notice the July 16 $9 call. So I already still have my entry plotted. So 65 cents to what? It hit a high of 226 and it closed at 215. On this day. So anywhere between here and here would have been a great time to sell, and that's just around 100% on those long-term options in 3 days. So that one went instantly, and that's exactly what we look for. So anyways, we can look to Solo, I believe, is the next one. And you're going to notice Solo has the smaller time frame consolidation going on. And if you look at the monthly, you're going to notice this was our entry long on Solo. And if you go here, you're going to notice it went instantly, came all the way up here, and then came back down to our trigger. So this is something you get stopped out of. When it goes this far from your entry, you want to throw a break-even stop on the option because, let me pull this up. Sorry. We can go to Solo, and it was recommended July 16 or September 17, $5 or $6 call. And now we go here. We can go to the $5 call for July 16. So you're going to notice this is the trigger long, and it happened on 6/3. Now if we go here on 6/3, this was the trigger long, 35 cents, spiked up to 80 cents. And now when that occurs, you should at least move your stop to break even or slightly above it to cover your commissions. And that is what occurs when we get stopped out, when something doesn't actually want to go. So we don't lose any money if it works in our favor. The only time we lose money, and we lose a very little bit, is when it triggers and then comes back in very quickly. So anyways, now we can go to G Pro. And you're going to notice this chat is very active from me and Jam Trades. And because you're going to see these setups just occurring and starting to set up going into the month. So the next one, you're going to see G Pro, Hammer Month coming up. Did not suggest any options, so we don't have to look at those. But we can go to G Pro and we can look at the monthly and see what occurred here. I think this is going to be another example of something that triggers and you just get stopped out afterwards. So yeah. There's your hammer day to the upside. and this would have been your trigger. Personally, when you get this huge candle triggering it, that's not something you want to actually take as a trigger. That's just a preference. And that's solely because when you get large candles like this, likely you get corrective activity after. So I'd prefer getting a trigger underneath here. So not something we got, but I believe this was actually on the day trade list just due to this consolidation. But anyways, this potentially could be setting up for us going into the next quarter, but this is not something I'm actually going to be looking at in this video, sorry. But now we can go to Sol, looking for a potential monthly retrigger, and you're going to see this is the monthly retrigger. Now we go to the daily, and another thing that just stops you out. And you can see a theme here. So it triggers, but it just does not want to go. So that's something you just lose a small amount of money on if you were to move your stop. If you were to use this as your stop, which again, this would have been a very extended candle compared to the previous price action, so not something you'd want to really take, then that would have stopped you out for about $1 a share. So not even a good risk reward in my opinion. But anyways, here's your inside day and up for the smaller time frame trigger, and you're going to notice that came back in as well. And if we go to a lower time frame, we can see exactly how that day went. So here is your daily trigger to the upside. So it would have worked, and you would have moved your stop to break even, ideally, and then that would have been your break even stop, and you're just gonna have to walk away with that. Anyways, let's potentially look at some other ones. Doesn't look, yeah, so none of these other ones. A lot of these are FSLY on watch for the week. So FSLY on the weekly. So this was the inside weekend up on FSLY. Again, another break-even stop potentially. But anyways, that is going to cover most of the videos and most of the stuff that we went through in the previous investing video. And hopefully you can see kind of what the possibilities are with options and with longer term trading strategies, especially the strat, which if you want to learn more about after seeing this video, suggest going to my website once again. And if you head to resources, there's going to be a page that kind of just answers some simple questions. And this page will be a bit more extravagant going into the future. So watch out for that. But anyways, watch out for the next investing video or live stream actually that will be coming out on 6/30/2021 today. And hopefully you guys can catch some of the same types of moves. So thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe and like the video.